first question on the right side.
Coach Brandon Cristal from KOA here in Denver. Can you kind of, I don't know, figure out why do you think your starters that weren't Joker struggled scoring, I guess?
Well, I don't think that's the biggest question. Now, let's talk about effort. I mean, this is the NBA Finals, and we're talking about effort. That's a huge concern of mine. You know, and you guys probably thought I was just making up some storyline after Game 1 when I said we didn't play well. We didn't play well. And tonight, you know, that the starting lineup to start the game is 10-2 Miami. Start the third quarter, they scored 11 points in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And we just got, you know, we had guys out there that were just, whether feeling sorry for themselves for not making shots or thinking they can just turn it on or off. This is not the preseason. This is not the regular season. It's not round. This is the NBA Finals. And that to me is really, really perplexing, disappointing. And I asked the team, I asked our players, you guys tell me why we lost. And they knew the answer. Miami came in here and outworked us. And we were by far our least disciplined game of these 16 or 17 playoff games, whatever it is now. So many breakdowns. And they exploited every one of those breakdowns and scored. So if we're going to try to go down there and regain control of this series and get home court advantage back, we're going to have to outwork Miami, which we didn't do tonight, and our discipline is going to have to be off the charts.
Mike here on the left.
Mike Singer with the Denver Post. You mentioned the breakdowns. 17 of 35 from three, Miami shot. I mean, how many of them were defensive breakdowns? You seem to call timeout on several of them. Maybe it's some miscommunications.
Oh, there's no maybe. Oh, there was definitely miscommunication. There was game plan breakdowns, personnel breakdowns. You know, there were guys like Max Strus, and you know that Max, and I said it after Game 1, he's 0 for 9 in Game 1. You know he's going to make shots, and he got off to a really hot start tonight, cooled down a little bit. But he gets 10 threes off. Gabe Vincent gets 6 off. Kevin Love gets 6 off. Duncan Robinson gets 3 off. And those are guys that we're supposed to have a heightened awareness to. As I mentioned after Game 1, the fact that they got 16 wide-open threes was concerning. They didn't make them. And so we got lucky in Game 1. Tonight they made them. So it was definitely a breakdown in communication. It was definitely a breakdown in our game plan. And like I said, we just were not nearly as disciplined as you need to be in the NBA Finals.
Third row on your right.
Coach Dan Devine, Yahoo Sports. It seemed like you had some success earlier in the game, smothering that Bam Robinson DHO, and it seemed to give you a lot more trouble in the fourth quarter. I'm wondering what changed in terms of the way you were approaching that or the guys who were executing it.
Well, I'd have to watch the film. I mean, give them credit. They play with tremendous pace, and they never let up. And so we got to make sure we're doing a better job of getting our energy up and not letting them outwork us and create separation and how to kind of put us in a spin cycle, which they did quite a few times. I mean, fourth quarter defense, I felt for 3 quarters tonight, actually, the defense was pretty good. I believe going into the fourth quarter, they were shooting 43%. But in the fourth quarter, you give up 36 points on 69% from the field. That's not going to cut it, man. That's not going to cut it.
Back left.
Michael Young, so ESPN. How did they make everything such a struggle after that big run in that second quarter? It looked like they were content to let Jokic kind of score and take away everybody around it. But how did they make everything such a struggle in the offensive end?
Well, I felt, you know, I felt the way Nikola closed that third quarter was tremendous. You know, I mean, it kind of got us a little bit of rhythm going into that fourth quarter, gave us a little bit of breathing room, and then they started the fourth quarter 13-2. You know, to me, the wheels fell off, really fell off to start that fourth quarter. And they were getting whatever they wanted, threes, layups, and that allowed them once again to sit back in their zone offense, slow the game down. And we had a hard time getting stops, and then we had a hard time getting made baskets on the other end. So our defense has to be a hell of a lot better. That's 2 fourth quarters now in Game 1 and 2 where our fourth quarter defense has been non-existent.
Right here in the front.
Coach Mateo Mayorga, 5 Reasons Sports. Sticking with the three-point shooting, how much higher do pickup points have to be against Miami's three-point shooters following up in the series?
Well, you have to understand who you're guarding. KYP discipline. You know, so if you're guarding a Duncan Robinson, a Gabe Vincent, a Kevin Love, a Max Strus, you have to guard them at the 4-point line. I believe, talking about lack of discipline, I think we fouled at least 3 jump shooters tonight. So then you have to have the discipline to contest without fouling, getting a hand up, giving them a place to land, whatever it may be. So, you know, Jamal had a great look at the end, and I told the guys if we would have won this game tonight, we would have stole one, and it didn't happen. The shot didn't go in, and we lose by 3 points. But yeah, the three-point line is a huge concern coming in. The number one three-point shooting team in these playoffs, and did a decent job in game one by the numbers. But tonight, they buried us.
Chris?
Yeah, Chris Thomas in Denver Gazette. Everybody, you've been so good at home in these playoffs. Everybody talks about the altitude, all that kind of stuff. How surprised were you that they had the final closing kick there tonight?
Yeah, I think the altitude is too much is made of that. I think, and Miami's been here for probably like a week now, so they're acclimated. And so I really don't think that's the reason why we've won games at home. I think our players deserve credit, our fans deserve credit. But yeah, they came out in that fourth quarter with a huge sense of desperation, and we didn't match that. Once again, 13-2 start. They kind of take control of the game, and just our inability or unwillingness to get stops and have a defensive mindset in the fourth quarter was very problematic. I mean, again, the numbers speak for themselves. 36 points in the fourth quarter on 69% is going to make it really hard to win a game in the NBA Finals.
Last two over here.
Mike Singer, Denver Post. You said Jamal got a good look at it. Did you at all consider calling a timeout there, or do you like it when it's in transition and you can kind of scramble the defense and maybe catch them a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's dependent upon the situation, and their half-court defense was giving us a lot of trouble in that fourth quarter, and you take a timeout, you let them get set, you let them review whatever play they think that we're going to run, and there's a great chance that we don't get a quality shot like Jamal got, which was online and, from my perspective, looked like it had a great chance of going in. And we've seen Jamal make shots like that before. So some nights, yeah, I think, we can take the timeout. Other nights, give our guys the freedom to get out and run. But with how well they were guarding in that quarter and how hard it was for us to generate great looks, I felt in that transition we're going to have the best chance to get the look that we wanted.
Last question, Michael, second row here.
Michael Pino, The Ringer. 28 shots and a postseason low, 4 assists for Jokic. Was that something Miami did defensively or just guys missing shots?
Well, probably a combination. You have to give them credit. And we scored 108 points, 52 from the field, 14 turnovers for 19 points. That's a concern in the fourth quarter, 4 for 10. But I trust Nikola. He's going to read the game. He's going to read how he's being guarded. And he's also going to pick the spots where he knows, regardless of how he's being guarded, we need him to score and be aggressive and look to score. So whether it's 41 points, only 4 assists, or it's 25 points and 15 assists, Nikola, one thing I trust about him is that he's going to make the right read time and time again.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.
Jamal will be up next. Okay, we'll take questions around the room. We've got the boom mics. Please raise your hand. Michael, right here in the front on 2.
Jamal, Mike Singer, Denver Post. Heat outscored you guys 36-25 in the fourth quarter. What do you think? Where do you think the defensive breakdowns were?
From the start of the game, I just think we didn't communicate well on their screens, and we're giving them open shots, giving them back doors or pocket passes. We just weren't as disciplined as we need to be at this stage of the season. So we just got to be better all around, I think, for 4 quarters, not just that last quarter.
On your right, Brandon.
Hey, Jamal, Brandon Cristal, KOA here in Denver. Coach came out, and the first thing he wanted to touch on was effort, and said he talked to you guys about that. Why do you think the effort was an issue, at least in his mind?
I don't know. They just played hard, and like I said, it was more discipline. It's defeating when you're giving up mistake after mistake, and it's not, them beating you. You're giving them open dunks or giving them open shots. So that's tough to come back from, and we've got to stay together and look ahead.
On your right, Vinny.
Vinny Benedetto with the Denver Gazette. Jamal, prior to tonight, the last time you guys lost was Nikola's 53-point night in Phoenix. Tonight he has 41 and another loss. Do you see that as being a coincidence, or do you feel like there's things you guys need to do better to take advantage of his big scoring nights?
No, it's I don't think it has anything to do with that. It's defense and discipline. Like I said, we just got to have an all-around game. We can't just have spurts of second quarter good, end of the third good. We can't have spurts of good play. We got to play all the way through the ups and downs, stay together and play with intensity and energy. And I don't think we had that. We just piled them on, mistake after mistake, and we weren't able to come back for that. Even when we're up, it felt like we're trying to climb back into the game, just energy-wise and intensity-wise.
Second row center.
Harrison Wynn, DNVR. Jamal, that last shot that you took end of the game right there, what'd you just think of that look, and do you like not calling a timeout there and just trying to create something within the flow of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys see me hit that shot enough, so it was a good look, just didn't go down.
Chris in the front. You got the mic coming.
Chris Thomas in Denver Gazette. You guys have been so good at home in the playoffs, 9-0, outscoring foes by an average like 11.9 points a game. Are you surprised to lose at home, and especially with them having closing the game the way they did?
If we play like that, then we expect to lose like that, yeah. I mean, we can't play like that. So if we play away, home, on the road, doesn't matter. We got to have a better showing.
Next question, standing on the right. Hold on 1 second.
Hi. Do you think Jokic only 4 assists in the game were a factor in the loss?
What'd you say?
Jokic only had 4 assists in the game. Do you think that was a factor in the loss?
No. He had 41 points. He's doing a lot. Yeah, he played a great game.
Any last question? Thank you, Jamal.
Yep.
Green's on his way in. Mike, right here in the front.
Jeff, Mike Singer, Denver Post. Malone mentioned that he said he was surprised that he had to talk about effort in the post-game locker room.
Me too.
I mean, that's what I was going to ask. Are you perplexed that at this stage of the season that's even a talking point?
Yeah. I mean, it's the fucking finals, man. Like, our energy has to be better. We can't come out like we did, and we have to be better.
Mateo up front.
Jeff, how much better does the team need to be defending and not biting in fakes?
I think it's all about discipline. We just have to be better. Discipline on the ball, off the ball, knowing our coverages, knowing what we're supposed to do, playing without fouling.
Brandon, standing on the right.
Brandon Cristal, KOA here in Denver. When you talk about, I guess, effort and discipline, how do you, I guess, amp that back up? I mean, or I guess how much needs to be said beyond the post-game locker room?
Nothing needs to be said at this point. I think we understand, especially after tonight, how we have to be. Like I said, it's the finals. I don't think we need a rah-rah speech in order to get us up. I think we know what we have to do going into Game 3.
Any other questions? Over here on the left side, third row.
Jenna Garcia, Clutch Points. Jeff, do you think that the Heat's strategy to make Joker a scorer and take him out of the passing game affected y'all's game? He only finished the game with 4 assists.
No. I think he did what he was supposed to do. When he had to be aggressive, he was aggressive. He makes the right play, and he sees the floor very well. I don't think what they did took him out of him getting an assist. If he's going to be aggressive like that, I mean, other guys can figure out how to be effective on the court. It's not about us just waiting around trying to get Joker to figure out how to get us the ball. We have to figure out how to be aggressive, and it starts with the defensive end, and then we carry that over to the offensive end.
Second row, Vinny.
Vinny Benedetto with the Denver Gazette. Jeff, the first, I guess, bench stint in the first half went really well for you guys. Start of the fourth quarter didn't go so well. What was the biggest difference between those two stretches for you?
They made shots. We didn't turn them over like we did in that first stretch, and that was the tale of those two halves. We didn't get the stops that we did. We didn't put the pressure on them. We wasn't aggressive enough on the defensive end, and we allowed them to get a groove, and that carried on to the fourth quarter, and that's how they got the win.
David, over here in third row.
Jeff, David Aldrich, The Athletic. I was going to ask you, you mentioned it a few seconds ago, do you think the inability to get stops defensively impacted you all offensively, or do you think the lack of movement offensively impacted you defensively?
No, I think it's the defense that impacted the offense. We allowed them to get comfortable with easy looks. Like I said, our discipline wasn't as great. Fouling jump shooters, allowing easy cuts. We wasn't ourselves tonight. Our communication has to be way better going into Game 3, and I think that was the reason they got out into the lead.
Last question, Mike here.
Mike Singer, Denver Post. Jeff, this is the first time you guys have lost at home all postseason. How confident are you that you guys will be able to regroup and shake this one off?
Well, I mean, we won on the road before. I think we understand what's at stake, and they did what they were supposed to do. They came in here, they got a split. Now they're going home, and I think we have to go in there worried about Game 3. We can't worry about Game 4. We have to worry about Game 3. We have to be better defensively. Our energy have to be better, and then get that win on when we play.
Thank you.
I forgot when we play Wednesday. There you go. So thank you.
Probably Gordon. Gordon or Jokic. Probably Gordon.
Jokic is on his way in. We'll see. Hello, everybody. Hello. Okay, we'll take questions around the room. First question here, Mike in the front.
Nikola, Mike Singer, Denver Post. Malone said he was surprised that you guys were. He was talking about effort in the post-game locker room. How concerned are you that effort is even in question at this stage of the season?
I mean, yes, of course, that's cannot be a question, but we just didn't play the right way in the fourth quarter. We scored 12 points. They scored 29. Oh no, this is not good. Can I have it? Yeah, that didn't sound right. Yes, of course. They scored 36 points in the fourth quarter. That's too much, of course, and they got a couple of offensive rebounds. It was just happened to be like that.
Back right, second to last row.
Nikola, Jacob Toby with 9 News. How disappointing is it to lose at home for the first time in the playoffs?
I mean, we didn't want it to happen, of course, but it happened, so we're going to live with it. We are going to Miami to play another game. So,
Michael, over here on the left.
Michael Pina, The Ringer. Nikola, you had a playoff low 4 assists tonight. Was that because of something Miami was doing defensively, or were your teammates just missing shots?
so I don't know. I don't think about assist or whatever. To be honest, I don't know the answer. I was just playing, and I don't think when I'm playing about the stats or whatever. So,
Brandon on the right.
Nikola, Brandon Cristal, KOA here in Denver. Coach talked about effort, and then Jamal said it was more discipline. How do you get that corrected, I guess, in short order before Wednesday?
I mean, just you need to know what to do, and we had a lot of miscommunication and misunderstanding. They were getting open looks, especially in the beginning of the game, and we have couple on the end of the game too. So you just need to know where to be or what to do, what's the coverage or whatever.
Tony in the middle, third row.
Nikola, Tony Jones from The Athletic. Do you guys feel that the offense, at the end of game one and at the end of tonight, kind of bogged down against the zone? And if that's the case, what are some of the adjustments that you guys can make for game 3?
I mean, the first game, I think we had. I said I miss mid-range shot. Jamal missed mid-range shot, and Mike missed corner 3. I think that's the shots that we want. We didn't make them. We didn't make those. And today, they just put us in their rhythm, and we don't want to play that way. And they want to obviously, but maybe just to play a little bit faster. It's going to help us.
Third row on the right, Dan.
Dan Devine, Yahoo Sports. Nikola, it seemed like the BAM and the screen and roll was giving you a lot of problems as a team. The ability to, sometimes you're up on the screen, sometimes you're back. They kind of had counters for all of those. What kind of challenges does that pose, and was that an issue in the fourth quarter for you?
I mean, of course, they have a really good team and really good players, and we need to adjust. So it depends of the skill set of the player. Sometimes we are up, sometimes we are down the floor. I mean, I think that everybody is doing that in the league. So we just need to be there for early and then make an extra effort, I think.
Any other questions? Vinny on the second row over there.
Vinny Benedetto with the Denver Gazette. Nikola, Coach Malone mentioned your tremendous close to the third quarter. I think you had a couple physical buckets inside, then you got out and ran. What what stands out to you about that stretch you had late in the third?
I mean, just a good stretch, of course. Seems like I just got going and I was just trying to score. Simple as that.
All the way in the back, last row.
Katie Wingy, Altitude TV. Nicole, what can you guys do differently defending the three-point line? They obviously didn't hit their open looks in game one, but tonight they did.
Yes, of course, they score 17 threes. They shoot 48%, which is really, really good, of course. Just I think be disciplined. Just if someone is running from him off, or just maybe, I think the discipline is the key for us. If you're not disciplined, if we're gonna have a breakdowns, it's not gonna be a long series, of course. But just because they're punishing you as soon as you make mistakes, so hopefully we're gonna be disciplined for next game.
We'll go back right, and then Mike, last question here in the front.
Nikola, what was sort of the mood when you guys got in there, knowing that effort was kind of one of the main issues? What was sort of the mood when you all huddled up in there?
I don't can I not answer this question? Yeah, I don't know.
Mike, right here in the front.
Nikola, Mike Singer, Denver Post. You guys have not lost at home in the postseason. How do you expect you will handle what really amounts to the first adversity you guys have seen this postseason?
I mean, we know that that's not going to happen. Like, of course, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and especially in the playoffs, where every game is different, every game matters, which is normal. We didn't want to lose, but we lost. So hopefully we're going to go there and win the next one.
Thank you, Nikola.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Pleasure, as always.
That's it for tonight. Safe travels to those hitting the road tomorrow.